Okay, so I think the first category we'll do is spot news. Just to kind of get warmed up and take the temperature of things. I want to read the category description here real quick. Hang on just a second. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, spot news. A picture of an unscheduled event for which no advance planning was possible, taken in the course of daily coverage. Examples, fires, accidents, and natural disasters. So pretty straightforward, okay? Let me, just a second here. Let me get rid of our test window that we had. We don't need anymore. Okay, can everybody see that? My contact sheet. 31 images in spot news. Like I said, we'll just start with a slideshow. No transition. Is 3 seconds long enough to look at each thing for you guys, you think? Okay, all right.
Yeah, we should put the sort order on file size or something.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's on capture time. We can do file size.
Well, capture time can get, when everybody in photo mechanic.
Yeah, I got you.
Time can get screwed up.
Yeah, I got you. We'll do that. File size. Sounds good. All right. Sort file size. Right. Text. Seconds. All right. Here we go. Hang on just a second. Let's bag that transition. I apologize. That was a little slow. Let's just get rid of that. All right, let's try that again. Okay. So we'll do a round of voting, one to keep it in, and then we'll mark that. Just a second here. All right.
Out.
And did you say out or in?
Out. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Out.
Out. Out.
Out.
I want to know what's going on here. Yeah, same.
In.
Okay. In.
In.
Oh.
Out.
Hold on just a second.
Oh.
But my thing just disappeared on me. There we go.
Out.
Out.
Tim, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear
Yes.
you. Okay. Out, yes or no?
Out.
Okay. Out. Oop.
Out.
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 Sorry, Kathy, what did you say?
Oh, sorry. Out.
Oh, okay. Out.
In.
Out.
In.
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 Out.
Hang on just a second. Let's see if I can shrink that down a little bit. It's a
Out.
vertical picture, and it was. Sorry, what did you say?
I said out.
Oh, okay. Was that out?
Out.
Okay. Out.
That's in.
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 In. Well, I guess I'm curious whether or not this was a rally that turned into a Spot News event or vice versa.
In.
Out.
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 In.
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 Out.
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 In.
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 Out.
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 Somebody have to tell us what's up with the sheep.
Yeah.
We can find out.
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 Agreed.
Out.
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 In.
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 Out.
Out.
Kathy.
Oh, sorry, it said out.
Oh, okay, sorry. Out.
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 Out. Oh, hang on. a sec.
Out.
Yeah, that's not. Hang on just a second. I accidentally hit my Zoom here for some reason. And I'm not sure how to get out of there. Hang on. Full screen. That's not the right. Hang on just a second. One second here. I've severely zoomed in on that photo. I apologize.
It's all right.
Good.
Sure that we,
Can you just slide the right bar over?
well, it something tricky happened, and I just got to figure out how to get back out of it here. Hang on just a second. For some reason, it zoomed in, and I can't figure out how to zoom it out. I hit some kind of short key, I think. 1 second here. Hang on just a second. Come on. There we go. Apologies for that. Go ahead.
Out.
Out. Out.
Okay. Tim, did you say it in or out? I didn't know. Okay. Out. Oop. Okay. See, I did it again there. All right. I'll fix that. Don't worry about that. All right. So this is what we got so far. Let me pull just the outs. And is there anything in here that you wanted to pull back in or get a clarification on or anything like that?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool. All right. So then we are down to 9. And I guess that's pretty good. I guess at this point, just kind of share your thoughts about what stood out. If you want to caption on anything, we can look at that. It's kind of up to you three, where you want to go from here. But we would love to kind of, this is now the time is to kind of to talk about like what stood out to you, or ask for any clarifications or things like that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, the two women on the ground really stood out to me, as well as the man kneeling among the electricity.
So this one.
Yes.
And this one right here.
Would also like to know more about that birthday party scene.
This? Would you like a caption?
Yes.
Yeah, let's pull a caption. An Athens County Sheriff's deputy speaks to attendees of a birthday party in New Marshfield after Cody Cummings left and 3 others were pepper sprayed by a neighbor on Saturday, February 6, 2021. Tina Osborne and her daughter, Danielle Osborne, confronted this neighbor after the neighbor's son threatened Tina's grandson, Maya, and the other children with pepper spray. While yelling at the neighbor for filming the kids at the party from her car with her phone, the neighbor pepper sprayed Cody, Tina, and Danielle before driving to her house down the street.
It's a better caption than it is in terms of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see it big though? I just want to look at it really quickly.
Yeah, let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger here. There we go.
We're just seeing the contact sheet.
Oh, you're still seeing the contact sheet. Okay, hang on just a second. Boop-a-doo. Share. Can you see it now, big?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
I think the caption is more interesting than the picture.
Mhm.
But boy, what a story that is.
Yeah.
I like the light on the officer's face. But yes, I agree.
Are there any in here that kind of stand out to you as rising to the top?
The person who's like kneeling in all those like electrical like poles and things. I have so many questions. I guess as to like one, like how did that person end up there and why? I really enjoy like the way that it's composed. Because like in a way, like the person is kind of like lost in the shuffle, but then in a way, like almost like intentionally done, like a Where's Waldo sort of picture. Again, I'm reading the caption and I'm still just like I'm so fascinated by this picture. I can only imagine what it was like to like be there in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, I mean, it's not necessarily clear whether or not this was a suicide thing but I'm assuming so, but I don't want to assume.
Yeah. The caption reads, a man climbed atop an Ohio Edison power substation in Warfield Township, Clark County on Monday, October 11th, 2021. After nearly 4 hours, negotiators talked him down safely. Electricity to nearly 2,500 customers have been cut off during the standoff. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
The fire window picture, I'm always, obviously in spot news, you're reacting oftentimes, but then to think about making an interesting looking picture as opposed to being just reactive is a good skill to have, I think. And I think the photographer saw something here. It's maybe not my number one, but it definitely is just somebody thinking beyond, get there and start shooting. Like they were looking for images.
Definitely, because they also look like they're maybe on a second floor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other captions you would like to read?
Maybe the standoff with the man in the red pants.
This one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A man involved in a standoff with Dayton police ran past one SWAT team with a gun in his hand after those officers had deployed tear gas into a house Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. 21-year-old man ran toward a second SWAT team vehicle not shown in this photo. Seconds later, he was shot and killed, according to interim police chief Matt Carper. Carper said the man earlier Tuesday had shot and wounded a man in the leg and shot the man's dog as they walked by the house. Then the man with the gun refused to come out of the house for hours.
That's an intense scene. And the rally photo.
Oh, this one right here?
Yep.
Okay. Demonstrations take place outside of the Columbus Division of Police after an officer shot and killed Micaiah Bryant in Columbus, Ohio on April 20th, 2021.
So I'm assuming this was spontaneous as opposed to, be here at 4.
Okay. Should we do another round of voting and do 2 to keep it in this time?
Can I just have the caption on the 2 kind of women photos, like the grieving thing? Maybe I should just say, can we just get captions on them all? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, actually, why don't we just do that? There's 9. We can do that. That's fine. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
We're all learning. We're warming up. It's morning time. We'll get to it. Don't worry. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. While the country watched the verdict being handed down in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin for killing George Floyd Jr. less than a year before Micaiah Bryant, a Black teenage foster child, was shot and killed by a Columbus police officer when she lunged at another girl while wielding a knife. A large part of the community saw the all too familiar reality. Another Black person was shot and killed by police in Columbus. There were 2 other killings of Black men by area police in the year before, both leading to officer arrests. This time it was a 16-year-old foster child in the care of the state. While the authorities pointed at footage to declare the shooting justified, many people voiced what they saw to be a failure to de-escalate by police and a failure by the state to give Bryant the support she needed as a foster child. Hazel Bryant reacts after her niece, 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant, was fatally shot in Columbus, Ohio on April 18th, 2021.
So that was at the scene, I would imagine. Okay.
7 people were taken to area hospitals after a shooting reported early this morning on South Yellow Spring Street in Springfield. Toledo fire and rescue battle an apartment fire on the 5900 block Cresthaven Lane on Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. The fire began in the attic and quickly spread throughout the rest of the apartment building due to high winds. Residents were safely evacuated and there were no reported injuries. Saw that one. A distraught woman is comforted after Toledo police found a homicide victim in Ottawa Park Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Family at the park Wednesday morning identified the victim as Theodore Walker Jr., 36. And that one we saw. And we read that one too. And oh, we did not read this one. A firefighter is seen through a window on a burnt section of the apartment while working on the scene of a fire at the Regina Manor Apartments in Toledo on Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. No occupant injuries were reported, and all those inside were either able to get out on their own or were evacuated by firefighters, according to Toledo Fire and Rescue spokesman Private Sterling Rahi. There was one minor firefighter injury reported. Okay. If you're doing the round of voting, 2 to keep it in. Okay. I'm going to close the caption here. Y'all can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right.
Out.
Out.
Out. Oh.
In.
Kathy.
I'll say in.
Okay. In. Sorry, I thought you'd already talked. I apologize.
No, I'm mumbling to myself.
That's fine.
Out for me.
Out.
Out.
I'm going to say in for now. Maybe it makes an HM.
Is that in for you as well, Tim? Okay. In.
Out.
Yeah, out.
Okay. Out.
In.
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 Oh, Tim, I can't hear you.
What? I said out.
Oh, okay. Out. Sorry.
In.
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 In. Okay. All right. Down to 5. Chugging right along. Good job. Okay.
It was 2 to keep in.
It's 2 to keep it in. Yeah.
I think the women on the grass, I think both
Did that have 2?
he and I said
I
in.
didn't have to.
You did? Okay. I apologize for that. Thank you for
Of course.
catching. It was this one right here. There we go. All right. So now you can start sorting. That's kind of where, and this is where kind of the discussion becomes a little more key, right? So you can start advocating for ones you think rise to the top, and that discussion kind of starts in this round here. Is there anything that rises to the level of a first, second, or third in this set of 6?
I mean, I do like the suicide photo. It's an intense scene and there's a nice moment there. And I imagine that access was probably not super easy, because you could probably say, oh, I wish they were over to the right a little bit more or whatever it is. But I imagine this was a pretty tightly controlled scene. I don't know if it was one for me, but it's not a photo I've seen a lot of. I'm curious if it ran, because obviously there's always those concerns when you run kind of suicide inspired images, whether or not, you know, you get the copycats or whatever. Those are discussions we've had in the newsroom, but that's beside the point. So I think we could move it up into the top 3 unless anybody objects.
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well. So we have these 2 pictures of, I guess it's more of almost like grieving of in the top left and then the one to the right of that. And I think that this one, the second one here, I think that this one is stronger. It's like, it's nitpicky things for me of just like, you know, watching out for things like light poles coming out of shoulders or getting horizons, you know, getting those corrected. But obviously, like in those sorts of spot news moments, you know, sometimes those rules kind of get bent and sometimes they get broken. I think the light is stronger. I think the moment is stronger here. Yeah, I think I prefer this one more than the other.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, there's and I don't want to, I mean, we rely a lot on the captions in situations like this to help explain for us. And it was unclear unless, and we can read it again on the first one, whether or not there was a familial connection to this person that they found, or was this somebody who just happened to be in the park and just, I mean, obviously finding a homicide victim is traumatic, you know, I imagine for anybody, but is this person related to Ted Walker Jr.? I don't know that. And I kind of wish that I did. And there's a sorrow, I think, a quiet sorrow in the other image to me that, you know, it's almost like the heartache is just more intense, maybe. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but, and the light is beautiful as well. But I would agree with you, Tim, on the light post is sometimes unavoidable in these scenes too. But I just wonder if maybe even a crop would have, like, how important is the background to this, that if they'd cropped in to just the people. I'm like, of course, holding my hands up, thinking you guys can all see what I'm doing. But you can't. But you can see that crop. It's right to the edge of the light pole.
Right. Right.
Yes. And those are the things that I think separate a lot of photographers, is like being able to show up on these spot news assignments, and it's almost like it's like clockwork, that your mind is immediately going to, all right, like I need to find the moment, but I also need to be able to like compose it well, and also like get some sort of good light on it. And like what I find, like what separates a lot of photographers is like being able to show up on these sorts of assignments, and there's a lot that's happening, but you're still like technically composed, and you're still delivering a high quality image in a very high stress situation.
Right. I mean, you can think about that too in the firemen in the window picture. You know, again, I'm not supposing to know what the barriers were to access for that, but there's a lot of unnecessary sky up there. Unless doesn't say that in the caption. Like, I'm seeing this electrical, whatever those things are called, electrical line that was this caused by that, but I don't think the caption refers to that. So would there have been a more graphically pleasing image if this had been cropped. Even coming down and just really getting into the melted siding and making that firefighter pop a little bit more.
Okay.
It was great seeing, but I think there maybe photographers thinks about cropping. I think a lot of times we hesitate to do that because we're like, this is the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that all 5 of these are at least kind of at the honorable mention level, or is there anything that kind of stands out as maybe being not at that level yet out of this group?
Well, we've got 2 fire images. We've got 2 kind of grieving reaction images. Not that this is like a picture story or anything, but it's just wondering at the degrees in which we want to award. And we haven't talked about the standoff image, like what an intense scene to be a part of as a photographer, and a scary scene.
Absolutely.
Still gets me about this picture is like, I think having the context of the caption that makes it even more intense of it, because like I think not too long after this, the suspect ends up getting shot and killed. Like that is a lot to that is a lot to have to process through, and to get there on the scene and to get the suspect, and not to just like get a pictureless suspect, but to get them in action.
Mm-hmm.
That is hard work meeting opportunity.
Agreed.
Yes.
I mean, this is the very essence of kind of spot news, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of times these standoffs, they you know, it's either, you know, suicide by cop, or they end and they just take the person into custody. And I don't think I've seen something like this where the guy is literally running out of the house with a gun in his hand. I think the quick thinking by the photographer, I don't know how long this lens is, but they were closer than I would have been comfortable being, frankly.
Okay.
I mean, to me, that one needs to be up in the top 3 in my estimation, because it just is.
Yes.
So there's the other fire photo at the end, and I think part of what actually drew me into it is, I think it's the like the cherry picker in the top left corner, because otherwise you end up just having like, you know, like some really cool, like interesting looking smoke, and you have the firefighters walking in different directions, so like it keeps things kind of visually interesting. But otherwise, if you didn't have that, it would just be kind of a bland picture. But for whatever reason, I keep seeing that in like the top left corner, and I'm like, that's the thing that, like the small little thing that ties the whole picture together. If that makes sense.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. It was when I caught my eye that I thought, oh, okay, this is active scene, and this is like photographer seeing really well with light and form and then also action. So it's a good combo of all of those. Sorry, I'm petting a dog who is woofing at me to go to the bathroom. We'll get there. He's going to join us for most of the day.
Oh, okay.
That would be an honorable mention for me. I don't think it rises.
Same.
But I think the photographer, like, you know, thought to include all the right things in the frame, and they were thinking about light and composition. So I like that image.
Okay. So out of this group of 6, do we want to award at least an honorable mention to all 6 of these?
I like to be inclusionary as opposed to exclusionary. That's always been if you get to this point, I always feel like it's kind of mean to just be like, that's me. I just, you know, but I also don't want to diminish anything else, you know, by putting something that doesn't feel like it rises to that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but That was a dog burp, by the way.
Yeah, I would say I feel like the three on the top right side are really standing out as winners, and then the honorable mention, like Kathy said, with the smoke. I feel good for that.
Okay. Part of this is kind of just helping you guys kind of figure out where you are in the process. And I think at this point now we can probably start ordering our first, second, and thirds. Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Does anybody have a lob for first? Something they're leaning towards?
Standoff.
Yeah, standoff, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm leaning toward the one that's in second now for second.
I could go either way. I do really like the electrical photo, but the emotional intensity of the other one, it's like that when you start judging them based on, these kind of different criterias, like, access, moment, emotion, all of that, like they both kind of, you could check boxes for each one in different parts, and it starts to balance itself out a little bit for me. I do wish that the photographer had thought about a crop on the second, the one that's sitting in the second place slot.
Yes.
Okay. So let's vote. So this one for first place.
Yes.
Yes.
First place. This one for second place.
Yes.
Yes.
Second place. This for third.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Third place. And then the other three for honorable mentions, yes?
I think so. I could be convinced otherwise, but
No, Kathy, to your earlier point, I agree with you that, like, if you do make it to this point, that these are all like very strong pictures. So I think these last three are deserving of at least an honorable mention.
Okay. Angie and Kathy concur?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
great job.
Great job. Let me just mark these and then stop my recording. Let's see here. Let's see. Just a second to get out of here. Stop share. There we go. Okay.